In the heart of the American South, history grows from the roots of tobacco fields and cotton plantations. From colonial ambition to a land shaped by revolution. Southern patriots fought fiercely in the War for Independence. In 1812, Southern ports became battlegrounds as war returned to the American shores. But it was the Civil War that scorched the soul of the South. From Charleston's first cannon blast to the burning of Atlanta to the surrender at Appomattox. The South remembers not just the battles, but the legacy they left behind.
Welcome back to Dixieland History. So here we are at DIV 61 and 62. So we'll be here all week. We're doing the 6-day dig. God only knows how bad it's going to kill me, but because here you can see that's what I'm swinging right there. That GPX4500. And with that D-Tech coil on it, 15-inch coil, it makes it about 17 pounds. So, you know, I guess I'll get a good shoulder and bicep workout on this hunt. But anyhow, just dug up a hole and got a signal out of it. I'm still trying to learn that machine. By no means do I know anything about it. It's the first time I've ever used it. And, you know, I bought it a few months ago specifically for this hunt, DIV. Because this dirt up here is heavily mineralized. But let's see what we got here on the first hole. I see some brass. I don't know, it could be a shotgun shell or a halt. No, it's not a 12 Georgia. I believe that is yeah, that's a brass rivet. They say I'm over right now. I'm over here in the Yankee section. I believe they call it. They said it was the 12th. No, it wasn't 12th. Anyway, some Mississippi unit, or I'm sorry, Massachusetts unit. 57th. I believe it was 57th, but yeah, got a little grommet. So got something, got on the board. We'll see what we can get out of here and what else we can get out of here. Been a little slow going so far. Found something here, but I think it's just a snap button. But you know, hey, there's a lot of people out here digging. Hopefully they're finding something. But anyhow, glad you're watching Dixieland History again. And in the meantime, I'll show you what I got so far and see if we can wipe a little bit of this red dirt clay off of it. Today, I'll turn it around. Today we're using the Minelab GPX4500. It's my first time using it. Boy, I tell you what, that thing, it's a beast. It's heavy as hell. But anyhow, let's see what we got here. Finally, but like I said, I'm pretty sure it's just a snap button. You know, over here in the sunlight. Oh my goodness. I don't know where the sun is. There we go. Yeah. Might be just a little snap button. Can't really get any there ain't no details or anything like that on it, but anyway, found the first piece of brass with the new 4500. And like I said, that thing's 17 pounds. Look at that thing, man. That thing's a beast. So we'll see what else we can find. We'll come back to you. Hey y'all, so finally made it back home after 6 long days up there in Beauregard, but for DIV 61 and 62, but man, what a blast it was. Cliff Condra and I had such a good time. It was tough going in the beginning. You know, I had the GPX 4500. I've never swung it before. I bought it about 9 months ago, but I hadn't had a chance to take it out and practice with it. And Cliff had the Garrett Axiom again. You know, he had never used it before, so we had a tough time going in the first couple days with it, but we did find some stuff. We also did break out the Deus too, got up in the woods, found some more awesome stuff. So I really wasn't able to talk about the history while swinging. So I'm going to do little short videos like this to kind of throw in and give you a little bit of history about Brandy Station and you know, the Calvary battle that happened there. It was a major battle. It was a large battle. Before the battle took place, however, this was a camp, a winter camp for both the Confederacy, who had it first, and then later on the Union used it for a Union camp as well. So We'll talk about, excuse me, soldiers such as Major General Alfred Pleasonton. He was the Union officer in command of the Calvary Corps of the Army of the Potomac. And what he ended up doing on June 9th of 1863, he did a surprise attack on Major General Jeb Stuart and his troops that were already there. It turned out to be the largest cavalry battle in the American Civil War. So we'll talk about that and other generals and other officers and just other little fun facts, about that battle, and obviously show you some of the great things that we found. So stay tuned and hopefully you enjoy what you see. So just found this neat little piece. So apparently that big coil, so it wasn't real deep. I mean, that's the biggest reason why I put the big coil on it. Try to get deep, because I know this place has been detected many times before, so I want to try to get as deep as I can. I mean, I guess it was fairly deep, probably about 8 inches, but look at that little thing right there. So that little coil with that PI machine picked up that little tiny primer cap. So how about that? So it's pretty sensitive. I'm glad to know that it gets sensitive stuff or small stuff. Now to find some big stuff, more bigger items, I guess. So there you go, got a little primer cap. Well, I ain't found a whole lot really today. Just found this horseshoe. So over there where we can't go, that was the Confederate Cavalry headquarters right over there. So I'm sure this had to come off of them at some point. But yeah, got a half a horseshoe really close to the Calvary headquarters. It's real windy out here, so I'm hoping you can hear me. But we'll keep digging, see what else we can get. All right, I'm gonna try to do this in between wind gusts, because like I said, it's super windy out here at DIV 61, 62. But just got my first lead of the day. Nice little pretty round ball, musket ball dropped. So not far from where I just found that horseshoe, so maybe I'm onto something. In between this and the horseshoe, I did find some horse tack where they nailed the horseshoes onto the horses. So maybe I'm onto something, we'll see. But got the first lead of the day. We'll keep looking. Now, it was important to note that the Brandy Station battle, so that was pretty much the start of the whole Gettysburg campaign. Everything that happened here in other little small areas is what led eventually to the Gettysburg campaign, because Lee had started seeing all these victories, and the one mistake that Lee made was he jumped the gun on trying to get into Gettysburg, because he felt that if he could beat the Union in Gettysburg, the war would be over, which Lincoln also said had they lost that battle of Gettysburg, the war was over, because he was going to go ahead and throw up the white flag and give the South what they wanted. So some of the division commanders that fell under Major General Alfred McPleasonton included Brigadier General John Buford and Brigadier General David McMurtry Gregg. He was part of Kelly Ford's column. Now, although this technically was a Confederate victory as they held the first field, it marked it as a turning point in which the Union cavalry proved its strength. Frequently cited as the day the Federal cavalry was made. So this really helped boost the will and the fight in the Union cavalry, because up until this point they really weren't a significant part of the Civil War. They were losing battles. They just didn't have good leadership until Pleasonton took over as the cavalry leader of the Army of the Potomac. So I'm starting to get used to that monstrosity. I'm telling you what, you want a good workout, if you're somebody that likes to hit the gym or work them shoulders or triceps or biceps, buy one of them GTXs, buddy. I'm gonna tell you what, of course somebody's got to call me on the phone while I'm trying to do this. So I am getting a little used to it. Let me turn that off. I'm getting a little bit used to it, trying to figure out the differences between iron and all that. But I think I definitely got past the iron part and found something really cool. Hadn't found, matter of fact, the only place I've ever found one of these was last year at DIV. And so I finally got another one here. Check this out. That is a friction primer for a cannon. How cool is that? So like I said, I'm finally starting to understand this thing a little bit. So as long as I keep understanding it and I keep finding relics, we'll keep digging. You know, I dig a lot of bullets, pretty much anywhere I go, but because this place has been hunted for so many years, you know, it's just like, man, I wish I could find just a bullet and I'd be happy. Now I did find that round ball, so, you know, I'm gonna be happy about that, obviously. You know, being that this all happened in 1862, and I'll get into that as the days go by, you know, they were still using round balls pretty, not really exclusively, but, you know, a lot, the Confederates, I mean. And so, yeah, it's awesome to finally found this one. So here, you can see it right there, And I look, yeah, I did. I thought I got it, but I wasn't 100% sure. But I got it right there on the nose. That is a Gardner, and that is a Confederate bullet. So glad to have found that. Man, I tell you, this machine's kicking my butt. If it wasn't so heavy, I'd have probably thrown it already. But no, it's a good machine. I just gotta learn it like anything else. Well, there you go. Finally got us a Gardner bullet. Well, this might be my last target of the day. My ride, he's wanting to get back to the hotel room. It's kind of windy out here. I think everybody's getting kind of annoyed by it, but got a little 38 pistol ball. So could be my last target. I'm gonna keep digging until he gets here. Maybe I get something else. Hopefully I get something else, but anyway, got that anyhow. Put that in the box. We'll get on to the next one real quick, so before he gets here. All right, whew, man, that's some hard digging today. Back here at the hotel, and as you can see back there is Clifford. I forgot to tell you, Cliff Condra's with me, so we're out here detecting. But we're gonna do a little quick wrap up for day one. We didn't do too bad. Thought it'd be a little bit better, but I mean, first time using the GPX4500. Matter of fact, I'm even gonna sit down and go over it. But you know, in that hot dirt, so it did good. I mean, a lot to learn. I'll ask more people, you know, more tricks and little things on this unit here. But as you saw, I got the iron buckle, the Gardner bullet, the musket ball, friction primer, and a little 38 cal pistol ball. Let me get my finger out of the way so it quits going wonky. The fuse cap or primer cap, and then the horseshoe, which kind of, that was the first thing I found over in that area, which kind of led me to believe that I needed to stay in that area. And of course, what I thought was a snap button until I cleaned it off, and turned out that's actually a J-hook button. And then of course the tank grommet. So like I said, I didn't do too bad for the first day. About middle of the pack compared to everybody else, you know. So, but that's it. Appreciate you watching Dixieland history here at day one of DIV 61/62. Hopefully we get out there and find some more. I'm gonna go back to that same spot and, you know, hopefully get some more out of it. That grass is really tall, so it's really hard to swing this big detector, but maybe I'll break out the Deus tomorrow and go along the wood line or something, see if anything's in there. But till then, we'll see you tomorrow.